Started there. In 2009, William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta approached me. And they said they have a big problem called ICC. That ICC problem is going to jail them. It is going to destroy their past and their future. It is going to take away everything that they have if they are convicted. It will brand their names synonymous to Hitler. They approached me. And they approached me with the view that somehow or another, I was going to be able to chart a path for them that would get them to power to get rid of ICC. That of it, they broke very early.
You've never made that public.
No, it was a promise I made to them. I'd never make it public, unless need be. They didn't even trust themselves with the original. And I'll never break that promise.
So why talk about it now if you're not going to talk about it?
I've been talking about it for the longest time.
Yeah, but why speak up about it?
Why speak up about it? Because you've asked me a question. You've asked me, what is the genesis of this? So the genesis is they know me, both of them know me very well. They know me extremely well.
What do they know about you that we don't?
I saw your caption there. You call me Jimmy WANJIGI is Bond. Maybe they believe I'm James Bond.
Do you believe you're James Bond?
No, I don't. I believe in many ways more than others that everyone has certain talents and certain gifts. Everybody has got that. And I may have a gift or a talent or a calling of a particular nature in this country.
When you appeared some days later, you were in fact daring to the police. You said, you know, they will not find you. And the last regime, when there was a raid, there was this word of a proverbial bunker in your home. Where were you when the police were looking for you? Were you inside your home? Where were you?
Yvonne, yes, I was inside my home. But beyond that, I won't tell you where and how and what there is in my home.
Jimmy, why would anyone need a bunker in their home to hide?
Who told you I have a bunker?
So where were you in your home?
Why should I tell you? Because if I tell you, I'm telling them. And I will not tell them. I'll never tell them.
So you were just watching them as they were walking into your house?
Yes.
Threatening your wife and children?
Yes.
And you didn't think to come out and protect them?
I even watched them plant outside. All right? We don't have too many cameras inside. We have a few. So, yes, we watched a bit of the threatening. But I can assure you my family is very strong, as you saw. My wife, my kids, my mother. The kid's grandmother was in that home, mourning after the death of my father. They were very strong. They were resilient to that pressure. And I can tell you, even though they wanted me to stand up, they were saying, no, if these people catch you, they'll kill you. They won't kill us. They may threaten us, they may take us in, but it would be too much for them to kill us.
So you think the regime of President William Ruto wants to kill you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Why?
Why come and say I have grenades? To say I have grenades is saying that I'm waging a war on this country using arms.
Are you?
No. I have been talking only one subject, money. Money.
Two regimes, two dramatic police arrests, both very similar in nature. Mr. WANJIGI, what is it that the police know about you that Kenyans don't?
Good evening, Yvonne.
Good evening.
I don't think it's a question of the police. I think it's a question of the two presidents. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta and the current President William Ruto. I think you should ask them, because what happened in both incidences were literally criminal activities, where they've used the police for criminal activities in my home.
Why would two presidents successively be after you? What is in your home, Jimmy?
I don't think it's my home. I think it is me that they seek.
Why?
Because on both times, it's been about me.
What is it about you, Jimmy, that they don't like?
I think you should ask them. Because if it was a question of the law, there are very many ways you can arraign me in a court if I've done wrong. If there's anything you can find that I've done wrong. But on two incidences, they've planted stuff. They planted guns, in the first incidents. Now they are saying there are grenades and smoke bombs and God knows what else, tear gas canisters. Here we are with two regimes creating criminalities to get me. This is them who fear me. You should ask them why they fear me. This has never happened to anybody else in this country under those regimes. And when Raila Amolo Odinga came to my home the other day, there's one thing he said, that even in the Moi regime, it never happened in the worst of times to anybody.
So stand with the protests. Do you support the Gen Z-led?
101%. 101%. I support them. I support what they are doing. I think along the way, if you go through some of my clips from September, October last year, I've been saying it's going to happen. It was bound to happen because Kenyans are in pain. I support them 100%. It's in the Constitution. It's their democratic right. And yes, I have supported them financially. I gave them money when they were in bond. I have supported the supply of flags and water and all those things. Why not? I'm sure I'm not the only Kenyan who did it, right? Because it's not against the law, right? I don't think they asked for any other support. I think people are looking for ghosts here. And yes, I appeared on Thursday. We got there about 3:30. We found the streets very empty. We found a small crowd on Kimathi Street that were being tear gassed, that had been held by police. And they embraced us. We went into the crowd, but it was no longer than 5-10 minutes and we were being tear gassed out of town. In fact, it's the same group that ushered me into my cars and said, please, please go. These guys are going to be wild here.
And then a car chase ensues after that?
And a car chase, a vicious car chase, all the way to Muthaiga. We locked the gate, and that's when the siege began. And that siege...
The falling apart of this pact, they've now been coming after you?
You know, I wish they would answer it. I wish one day you can ask them. I want to tell you...
Have you never spoken to them since 2014,
let me say
when things started to come a cropper?
Let me tell you, in Uhuru's government, we never talked. We never talked after he came for me. All right? You must remember, I was even put in an obituary. I'm alive, but I was in an obituary in the Daily Nation. Right? So you tell me what that is. You know, you saw the Israelis, the issue of Hamas the other day, the Hamas leader. When you are put in an obituary in Palestine, that is what is called a death promise. And it's normally done by Mossad. And it happens. So we said at the time, it seems they want to kill us. Why? Because I was supporting Raila Odinga in the last election. Because of the Supreme Court order. What was it? Now, I want to tell you that they have an essence of my capacity. They have an essence of who I am. And there's one thing you need to understand in politics and in leadership. You know who your competition is. You know it in your gut, especially when you're up there. You know it in your gut where your competition is, where your problem is, who can remove you. You know it in your gut. There's one thing I do understand, this country. I understand it, I feel it, I live it, I know it, and they know I know it. You asked me an earlier question. Why would they kill you? In these incidents of William Ruto, because I'd like to come here, I want you to understand there are two pillars of any government. There's the pillar of guns, and even the MOU I did with them was based on that. The pillar of guns and the pillar of money. Without those, a government cannot operate. All right? Those are the two pillars. A gun to protect people, to protect them, to protect money. And money to buy those guns. That is the essence of any government anywhere. I do not have guns. I am not a militia. I'm not trying to overthrow the government of Kenya.
But yet you say they're threatened by you.
Yes, because I've gone after the money. I have been talking money for the last 2 years. I'm going after the other pillar. Because they have broken the constitution of this land on the pillar of money. And that siege, you know, the last time when we had such an incident, in 2017, it was civil. The police came in, they asked for me. We said, what for? They couldn't say. They said something about some investigation of some guns found in Malindi in my residence. And they want to see me. And we said, summons. They said no. They surrounded the place a whole Monday. Tuesday, they broke in with a court order. This time, they surrounded the home by 5 o'clock, 5:30. And by 7, without a court order, they broke into the home and terrorized my family. What happened that night until 4 a.m. was pure thuggery, it was theft, it was assault on my family. They beat up my children. That is what happened. Now, you tell me how that is not personal. You know, in life, we like to say, men fight out there, even in war. We fight out there. And we do not cross the line of personal. You don't come to somebody's family. And the yardage of thumb is this, that if you come to somebody's family, you are inviting a war on your own family. Helping them first and foremost.
Money?
No.
Did you fund
Money.
their campaign in 2030?
Tell me something. Do you think Uhuru Kenyatta needs my money? No. He doesn't need my money. We all contributed. I contributed a little bit, right? But that is not what makes somebody win. Contrary to what public belief is, it's not money. It's a cause. You develop a cause, and the people buy into this cause. At that time, we sold two things, right? First, there was the unity of the country to take away the ills of tribal fighting. That was critical. Number two, we sold a new generation into power, digital versus analog. And we sold a cause for that growth. Now, that is what gets you to power. So my role in that, maybe they will define it better, but they felt I had the energy, I had the zeal, I had the capacity to be able to help them from 2009 go right up to an election in 2013 and win. In fact, at the time it was 2012. It was then extended. Now, they believed that I had that capacity. I know I had the capacity. And we did it. We succeeded.
Then what happened?
They broke the pact. It was no longer about saving Kenya. It was about themselves. It continued being about themselves. And very early in the administration of the Ruto regime, by 2014, we were fighting. Principally because they broke that pact. We were 3 of us in the room. I even still have today the MOU of that government, the original. I have it. And the essence of it, they broke very